I know what my audience like. I did some independent films with Master P. A lot of those movies did really well.
I'm ambitious, I'm a hustler. I have my own lane.
That's the thing about comedy. You wake up every day, you don't know if you're funny that day.
Hey, y'all get the music right? Just let me know real quick. Check the sound. Oh, good. I'll play it again. I'm in that type of mood. Let me reload. Let me All right, let's try it one more time. Good. I'm glad I ain't say nothing. Jump out and jump back in. That's what they said. That's what they said. Thumbs up if y'all can hear it. Good. We in it. We back. Good. Good. You know, one thing I don't have a problem with is playing that intro twice, man. That intro is strong to me. That's the sign when you know it's happening. So when you know the show is happening. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see y'all. It's been a minute. It has been a minute. We're back in the studio after a good some time off. And appreciate y'all. Welcome to the program, ladies and gentlemen. It's Let's Go Live with Lamont King. I'm Lamont King, and you are now live. So let's go. We back with sound effects. It's where the magic happens. We back broadcasting live in the newly remodeled Drunken Fruit Studios, also known as the Tiny Closet Command Center.
I don't care if it is a closet. You still looking mad official.
Appreciate you, Lord Jamar. We do this each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Lord willing, 6 p.m. to 7 East Coast time. Shout out to everybody watching on the West Coast and worldwide. I see you. Something like a podcast for the newcomers. Something like a podcast. What we try to do here is trending topics, hilarious commentary, special guests, celebrity guests, and interesting people. We got some interesting people today. All right, make sure you visit our sponsor, Paranalia.com and DrunkenFruit.com. The Drunken Fruit is on the screen right now. screenshot it, take a picture, keep it moving. You know what I mean? They got some good springtime, early summer specials coming up on it. Let's see. And 2A, for all my 2A enthusiasts. You know who you are. Paranelia.com. Hey, good to see y'all, man. Thank y'all for tuning in all last week. Monday, got a chance to stretch out and go on location. And we came across two very key, pivotal individuals who support this show from the very beginning, Alpha Papa and C King, also known as Alpha Mama. Told me to tell y'all, hey. And on Wednesday, we had Ask Lamont. And Friday was Good as Gold. All fun and games with John Watson, man. Great conversations. We were able to. That was our first mobile road version of the show. So that was exciting. And I'm glad y'all stuck around and tuned in. So much so that when I was broadcasting live in front of the garage on Monday, I had a little shoddy service. The wireless didn't really reach outside. But I found this on the voicemail. When I get back, we broadcasted in the driveway of some home out of state. And the location was in front of the driveway. And the voicemails are always open at 765-LetsGo1. And this is the voicemail I got.
I don't care if it is a garage. You still looking mad efficient.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Shout out to Haynes. Appreciate you. All right. I want to say what's up to Mr. Clarkson, our executive producer, down the hall in Studio G, who later on, he doesn't know this, but I want to get you on briefly to give an update on something you shared with me earlier. And John Watson, All Funny Games, our New York bureau chief. Good to see y'all. All right, yeah, we got some new backdrops. It's courtesy of somebody important. I don't know if you can see that King right there, new backdrop. Yeah, it's a lot going on here. We remodeling, refurbished, clean. The studio took a week off. Imagine that. Imagine. All right, I'm waiting for my guest right now. Today we're gonna talk money, man. Big deal. We're gonna talk money. We're gonna hear a very compelling story of overcoming financial redemption and just all around strategy and money moves. With our guest today, who's a credit coach, teaches financial literacy to adult and kids, and has got a hell of a story. Right now, I'm just waiting for the technical side to kick in. And, when I get the thumbs up, then we're going to go and do that. I see that, okay. I just heard something. Let's go straight to it. Maybe all right, if you can hear me. So try, you might have to try a different device or reset your wireless. I see you having some G's issues, or check your settings. There you go. Wait a minute. I see you. You ready to go? Give me a thumbs up if you're good to go. All right. All right, y'all. I need y'all to get y'all pen and paper out. Get your smart brains on, man. We're gonna talk that talk a little bit. Share. Let me go through housekeeping because it's been a minute. I'm a little rusty. Share this broadcast right now. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the bell, notifications, all of that. We're gonna talk about the money wheel too later on. So this right up your alley. This is what you need to know. The phone lines will be open for the entire show. 765-LetsGo1. 765, I believe, 538-7461. And that's where we are. All right, my first guest. Let me get that chat box out of there. Y'all can see yourself a little bit later. All right. Financial coach. I'm going to get right to it. Financial coach, teaches literacy, credit rebuilding, autism advocate, survivor, all around cool person. Please welcome to the show from financialcommonsense.com. Shanté Nicole, what's good with you?
Hey, how are you?
What's good with you? Hold on, I got to put your name up and all this because this is real right here. Hold on. It's like a reunion. Live.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been some years.
It's been many, many years. And I was reading your bio. I'll put your bio up here too. I think it's like the story began right around that time. It was like 2002 or 3 or something like that.
It was right after. It was about
Yeah.
a year after.
Yeah. I was like, okay, well, all right. Hold on, let me share this. Let me read the bio. I gotta give you I usually don't read full bios.
You don't have to, please. It's a lot. Don't read it all.
No, it's so compelling though. It's so compelling. Hold
Mm.
up. Nah, we're gonna get this. It's so compelling. Where is it? Oh. I missed it. Dang, it's on another screen.
That's
All
why I
right.
have to send it real quick.
Yeah, we ain't gonna trip. Hold on. Where's the PowerPoint? It did the PDF. Do. Anyway.
I'm gonna re-forward it to you.
Yeah. Because I
Right now,
need
it's
that.
on the screen. So just send it to the same email address.
Yeah.
All right, you should have it in
Because
5 seconds.
I locked it in as a PDF. It's a live show, y'all. Don't trip. This is what we do here.
We're gonna be here for a minute.
Yeah,
Sit tight.
easily.
Sit tight. You got it?
Not yet. Hold on. It's loading. All right, here we go. Let me download this again and see that and put it to the desktop and then do that. And then we good to go. Yeah, because a lot of times what I do is I don't like doing it because some of them are so fluff.
Yeah.
But yours is so the story is so compelling. I think it's only right. All right, here we go. Let me bring this in. All right, let's read together, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? All right, financial editor. Let me get the applause. Financial Common Sense. It's the name of the program, name of the organization with Shanté, Nicole, ladies and gentlemen, financial educator, credit coach, author, and speaker. All right, let's get into it. Shanté's passion for serving others has always been at the center of her life. She's an autism mom, wife, author, financial fitness coach, kids money coach, certified credit consultant, holds a degree in nursing, and is the founder of her nonprofit organizations Facing Autism with Children Everywhere and Financial Common Sense. She's a panelist for SunTrust Bank's On Up financial campaign and also facilitates workshops in this area in the Northeast region of the U.S. Her mission is to educate and empower individuals to make better financial decisions in regards to rebuilding and repairing their credit, budgeting, developing saving strategies, and debt management. She's also the founder of Kids Making Sense, a financial literacy program that offers educational products and workshops in the community, including schools, churches, and recreational camps. Now, y'all get this. In January of 2017, she created the online Facebook community, Financial Common Sense, currently 92,000 members from over 100 countries. One more time, please welcome Shanté Nicole.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm so super passionate about this topic because of the many things you have just shared. And so my mission is to just educate people so they can spread it to their children, and their coworkers and their parents, because our parents didn't teach us about money. Most people did not learn from their parents. We learned when we hit the brick wall and had to learn the hard way. So
say that again. Say that. That's why you here. That's because my mom, we had this conversation often. And she says, I wish we'd have taught y'all about money earlier. And most of us have the same experience.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think it was important to have you on and to read your bio, because a lot of people will be like, oh, yeah, my cousin, she do credit repair. I'm like, nah, this is a little different. Yeah.
We're going to talk about that too.
Yeah.
All the Instagrammers who do credit.
Yeah. It's a little different. All right. So let's get backstory. We're always big on backstory here. Walk us through the beginnings. There was an article that I posted that CNBC featured you, and it told the story very, very well. If you could go back to the beginning and give us a little history on how you got to where you are today.
22 years old, diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. I mean, that was it right there. And I couldn't work full time because I was getting chemotherapy and radiation one week and then off the next week. And then so back and forth, energy was shot. So I was working part-time and trying to survive. And so all the medical bills start hitting collections and maxed out credit cards because I didn't have a savings. That's another topic. But so then I was like, what do you mean this collection is on my credit report? What is a credit report? What do you mean? This is on. So I put up my credit reports and I was like, oh my God, this is all bad. So I started really learning about credit, how to rebuild, how to get the negative off, how to take care of the negative, how a maxed out credit card looks when it comes to creditors pulling your stuff. So I just became obsessed with learning about credit, like listening to the radio, let them have a guru on like me. I'm just like, okay, let me take notes, what they saying, how you do this. And I just learned over the years. So then a couple years later, marriage, a few years later, divorce. So I was left with thousands of dollars in debt, but I already had a foundation of how credit works. So I was like, oh, I know exactly what I need to do. So I just started doing that. Then I lost my job. And then I was like, that's all right, I'll find another job. Well, that's when the job market was trash. And so I was like, oh, what am I going to do? I was working 3 part-time jobs at the same time, went back to nursing school. My son was diagnosed with autism. So then all the therapy sessions. So it just was always an up and down roller coaster with my finances. The biggest saving grace was the education piece. I taught myself about credit over the years. So anytime life kind of kicked me in the butt, I knew what to do to bounce my credit back because I had the knowledge. A lot of people don't know what to do when their credit takes a dive. So they just have bad credit for years because they're like, oh, it's just always going to be bad. I don't know what to do. Then they join my group or do a session with me and they're like, dang, that's all I had to do, because they don't understand credit. It's not being taught in schools. It's not being taught in the home. So I'm a credit coach. I am not a credit repair specialist. I teach you how to be the best credit repair specialist for yourself.
Got it.
Football, right? You're a football fan, right?
Sure.
Is the coach out there playing?
No.
The players come off the side. They like, run this, do this, run this play. And they like, boom, go win. That's what I do. You come to me, I'm going to tell you the play-by-play on exactly what you need to do to go win. And then I'm like, go win. And
it helps in football. I like that metaphor. It helps if the coach has played. And you definitely have played, so you know which plays to run.
I won, I lost.
Yeah.
Super Bowl, lost again, lost. Like it helps when I have experience what a lot of my audience has experienced. Now,
the self-taught piece, I think that's very important. Like what is that about? What is that path like? Because you're saying it just from listening to you. The information is out there. That's the way it would seem.
It's so cut and dry, you guys. It can be overwhelming. Even in my group, it's 92,000 of us. People post all day long. People answer questions, but people still come to me and say, your group is wonderful, but I'm a bit overwhelmed because I'm trying to piece it together from here and here and here. So when you get with me, I'm able to tell you exactly what you need to do for your credit, right? So but the information is out there. Like you said, you have all these books, credit secrets, credit loopholes, credit hacks. Ain't no such thing. It's just factual information that's out there. It's not a secret. It's not no hacks. It's no loopholes. The loopholes are people who take the information and switch it around and change it up and make you think, oh, it's this credit loophole. If you send this letter, no, all you got to do is just dispute the way it's cut and dry, really. Right. So I want people to get out of that. I don't know the secret. I don't know the loophole or the hack. Google is your friend. Everything I learned, well, there was no Google back when I was.
You was doing that real research. You was in libraries and
I was on Yahoo. I was on Netscape.
Oh, Yahoo, okay.
Netscape,
Yeah.
But literally, like anything like this, whenever there was a platform for someone to give the knowledge like I'm giving, I was listening because I was like, I got to get out of this situation. I can't have no 500 credit score for years. I need to be back up. So I got it up and then divorced. So back down, but I never stayed down long because I was like, oh yeah, I remember they said, do this, and this. So that's where that education is so critical because once someone plants the seed in your head, all you need to do is water it so it can grow. But no one can like dig in the ground and remove that seed if you plant it deep enough. So it's really about having that foundation. You might forget some things along the way, but at least someone planted it in your head and said, this is how you handle this. This is how you handle that. This is what makes good credit. This is what makes someone look like they have bad credit. It's just bad because people aren't teaching it. They're just trying to look for the quick fix. I'm not sure. You're not my client if you want microwave results.
What was the timetable for you to that point? Like, because your story is so, it's over decades. What was the turnaround time? Because some people are looking for the quick fix, but you went through cycles.
So I get that question.
Daylight. When did you see daylight?
Each time was different, right? Because so like say I had a client or a potential client ask me today, if I sign up with you and do your service, how quick can I see results? And I said, it all depends on your starting point, right? I don't even know what's on your credit to tell you how fast you can see results. Depends on your starting point. Just like you, if you're trying to get to the FedEx Field Stadium and I'm trying to get to FedEx Field, but I'm in Riverdale, Maryland, and you're in Atlanta, Georgia, the way I tell you to go to get to FedEx Field is going to be way different than the way I need to go. So even though we're trying to reach the same goal, the direction and the path is going to be different because your starting point is different. So I know people want to hear, girl, in 30 days, you'll have 90 score increase. I'm not going to tell people that just to get your money because I don't know how long it's going to take.
No,
One of my clients.
but I'm asking you for your
So
story.
for me, I
Yeah.
say all that to say each thing that happened in my life took a different time frame, right?
Oh, okay, got
Going
it.
through the cancer,
Mm,
that was a little bit quicker because it was mostly like those medical bills and collections here and there, some maxed out cars. That maybe took a year to like really get back on track. Going
okay.
through the divorce was different because
Mm,
I was left with thousands of dollars on joint accounts. And that person was like, I ain't taking care of nothing. And I was like, well, guess I got figured out myself. When I lost my job because I didn't have a savings, I had to utilize credit cards to stay afloat, which means I charged $50,000 to $60,000 in credit card debt in just a year because I had to pay my rent and pay for cable and pay for gas. So that took me like 8 years to get out of.
mm,
So
mm.
it depends on the starting
Okay,
point.
got it. Yeah.
Just having medical debt, all right, but maxed out cards and no job and this and that, yeah, that took a lot longer. So
Right.
it's always it doesn't matter how much knowledge you have. It depends on how much damage you need to fix.
So with that being said, has the system evolved? Because I remember, there was a few things that we learned when we were young, and that my parents might have told me 7 years and then it falls off. Have any of those things changed, or are those old antiquated little techniques, are they still happening? Is it still the same?
Unfortunately not. And I think that is something that the government is working on. Let's reboot some of this stuff. I think it's ridiculous for something negative to stay for 7 years. I'm like, that's a lot of damage being done. Now, thankfully, we're talking about FICO scores now. Negative items weigh less and less as time passes. So that's a saving grace.
Oh, okay.
But 7 years is 7 years. If you have a bankruptcy, Chapter 7 is 10 years. Chapter 13 is 7 years. A late payment on a credit card can take 7 years just to fall off. So yes, it does a lot of damage. So my education is, let's not even get to that point where we got to fix that stuff. Let's stay on top of our credit cards so we don't have late payments. Let's stop getting stuff sent to collections because you was like, yeah, they get it when they get it. It's really a mindset thing before the education starts, right? I did a 5-day credit challenge 3 weeks ago in my group. And day 1 was just about mindset and your relationship with money. You want to get into credit scores and how to boost the score and how to tackle negative items. I'm like, let's talk about how we got here in the first place. What is your relationship with money? Was it talked about in your home? If it was, what was the thing? Some people tell me my parents was like cash only, cash only, cash only growing up. Now they need credit and they don't know what to do because their parents were like cash only, cash only. Some people were like, we only use credit, but I didn't know that if you max out a card, it look bad. They thinking I got $1,000 limit, I could use $1,000. It's the education piece that's missing, right? Yeah. So again, people don't really want to be educated until they hit the brick wall and they like, I need a new car and I ain't trying to pay 20% interest. So how do I fix my credit? Or I want a house for me and my kids. How do I fix my credit? It's always when they want something or they got to fix something. They don't just say, let me start learning about it now. So, and I'm myself included. I didn't know nothing about credit till I had cancer,
Wow.
But life circumstances will lead you down a positive path. But it's just unfortunate that a lot of my clients are between 25 and 50 years old. And when I'm educating them about credit, they're like, dang, I ain't never know all this stuff.
Well, the education piece is so real because I remember being young and studying with the 5%ers and the gods and the earths and the big thing was debt is slavery, and that phrase was real big, and that scared me. So I was kind of young, like I don't ever want to. And then as an adult trying to buy a home and with short money. And they like, all right, would you look at your credit history? I'm talking about credit history, jive turkey. I got this cash. Nah, fam, no way. You know what I'm saying? So it took me learning that as an adult to realize and understand carrying balances on cards and, using cards and paying them off and rotating accounts and all of that. That shit is magical. It's like sorcery. You know what I'm saying?
It seems like it until you get it. Credit is a chess game.
Yeah.
And you have to learn the rules and learn which way to move to win. You will win every time if you know the rules to the game and you know what moves to make and what to do. That is so critical because I say put yourself in the mindset of a lender. When you are buying a home, the bank is buying the house for you and you are paying back the bank. So you need to finance a $330,000 home. I need to see how have you managed all the other people you borrow money from. If you ain't got no credit, you a risk to me. I'm not buying a $300,000 house for you, and I can't tell how responsible you are with borrowing money, paying it back. People have credit cards. I don't use my credit cards. Credit cards are bad. No, the way people use credit cards are bad. Let's get that out your head. But then again, if you're asking me for a car, $16,000. You want me to buy you a car? Let me check your credit report to see how you've managed everybody else. Oh, 3 collections you ain't took care of, 15 late payments across your credit card, a charge off, and a bankruptcy. Yeah. Either I'm going to deny you or I'm going to approve you, but your interest rate is going to be through the roof because you are risky. Credit is all about how responsible are you with borrowing money, paying it back. Now, there's a lot more things that go into how you build your credit score, but credit overall is about how responsible are you with borrowing money, paying back. That's why a credit report exists. When you have children, the only way you can tell how they're doing in school is by looking at what? Their report card.
Right.
Grades. Also, is a 3-digit number associated with the report card. It's called a GPA. So let's go into the adult world. The only way a creditor can tell how well you're doing with credit is your credit report. There's also a 3-digit number that goes along with that credit report, and it's called a credit score. Okay, people? It's really simple. That's all.
A little bit harder to make honor roll, though, as an adult. A little bit harder.
It's
a little harder.
Yeah. But it's really simple when you learn. So the reason why my bounce back was always quick is because I knew what to do from the first time I fell short with my credit. So every time life came, I'm like, I already know what to do. So yeah, my score was in the 500s, got it back to 750 in less than a year. Oh, the divorce happened, got down to the low 6s, got up to 800 within 5 years. But the bottom line is I knew what to do.
Right.
That's what we should be learning.
All right, let me go to my executive producer, my fact checker, real quick. Got a couple points that he made that I have questions about now. He says U.S. households with revolving credit card debt owe nearly $7,000, and credit card interest rates are near record highs at more than 17%. He also says that around 67 million Americans have trouble paying their credit card bills due to the outbreak, this pandemic and its aftermath. So everything that you've said so far, does this still apply to us coming out of this pandemic? Are many of us who have felt behind or are in really, really bad shape in a position to rebound and rebuild, given, having gone through something we ain't never gone through ever?
So there's always a bounce back. So I'll never tell somebody like you too far gone, like your credit's so bad, there's no turning back. I've never encountered that ever. And I have hundreds of clients, personal clients, right? But here's the thing. The pandemic snuck up on a lot of people, right? But I feel like people could have been better prepared for something such as a pandemic had they had a better handle on their finances pre-pandemic. A lot of people are using it as an excuse. Here's the issue. That first fact that he put up about credit card debt, you know why that's a problem? Because people are using credit cards for money they don't have.
Okay.
Like, we should not do that. So whenever I pull somebody's credit report and I see all these outstanding balances, I say, how do you use your credit cards? And they're like, oh, I just be shopping. It's just frivolous stuff. And I say, well, you should get in the habit of using credit cards for money that you have. Like, we should never swipe if we don't have the money. Like, unless you need that purchase to survive. And I'm talking about my light's about to get cut off. I got to use my credit card. Or I need food, groceries. But if you're like, oh, these shoes are on sale for $60, you should not swipe unless you have the $60, because what else are you paying on top of that if you don't pay that card in full? Interest. So now you ain't pay $60 for them shoes. You probably gonna pay $80 because you're charging interest. So I have 7 major credit cards, no credit card debt. I use them every single month. And I use them to pay my bills. Now, you don't have to do this, but this is a strategy I tell people all the time. My Geico gets paid with my credit card. My DGE gets paid with my credit card. The gym gets paid with the credit card. Fios gets paid with a credit card. Who else I owe? Everybody. Anybody that says you can pay me with a credit card, I pay with a credit card. And
in theory, the bills that you would have just paid with your regular income.
But wait, there's more.
Okay.
Every credit card I have gives me cash back, airline miles, gift cards. So doesn't it make sense to swipe every month? Because now I'm making money off you. I'm making money.
Is it real money though? I mean, the cash back is so small. Is it legitimate?
Okay.
It's like
1.5% cash back, right?
Okay.
That sounds small. But if I'm charging $300 every month on my credit card, that 1.5 adds up.
Okay.
And it's free money. Like, what we do is give away money. We're not taught how to leverage our credit. First of all, we're misusing credit. we're not making it work for us. The issue is that, so I would tell you 2 years ago, me and my husband flew to San Jose. He's a big 49ers fan, so I surprised him and took him to the Seahawks game there. We didn't pay for our airline tickets at all. We flew to San Jose for free because I had that many points on my Southwest card. Well, how did you build that many points, Shanté? Using the credit card for money I have already. If I go to Panera, I'm not using a debit card. I'm using a credit card. If I go to 7-Eleven for some Funyuns, I'm using a credit card. I don't use debit cards. Debit cards don't build credit. Debit cards don't make me more money.
Did you say Funyuns?
I said that to say any stupid thing that I want to buy.
But do you is it a thing where you got to keep track and be like, all right, I knew I bought the $1.89 bag and I know I got to go in and put in $1.89 to get rid of it. Are you keeping track each item?
No, not each individual item.
I swipe, and most people don't keep track of swiping. So if I went and switched it up and did credit card like that, wouldn't I have to keep track? Wouldn't it be helpful?
I mean, every single transaction, no, just set a budget to say on this credit card, I'm not going to go over $300 for the month. And then you work backwards. Say 300 and work backwards, and just then keep tracking, making sure that you're not going above the 300. You know what I mean? But my thing is, every credit card that's linked to a bill is cut up. Why is it cut up? Because it's already serving its purpose. So I don't use it for anything else.
Wow. Okay.
So I have 6 credit cards linked to bills that are cut up, and I have 1 credit card that I use as my debit card.
When you say cut up, what do you mean?
They're cut. I can't use them for anything else. I can't swipe them. Once I link it to a bill, it's cut.
So online you have it linked and recurring, and then you physically cut the card.
It's cut up.
Oh, wow. Okay. This has layers. This is layers.
It takes a while. It's a mindset thing, though.
Yeah.
It's a mindset. Only if nothing else, you don't take away from this people and Mr. Lamont. Use credit cards for money that you have. And let me tell you something. One of my clients has 6 credit cards, almost maxed out. I said, I want you to add up all the interest you paid in just 1 year on all those cards. She was like, do I have to? I said, yep. I want you to see how much free money you're giving to the credit card company. Because most people, they pay attention to 2 things on their credit card. The due date and what's my minimum payment. Minimum payments are going to have you in debt forever. If you use it for money you have, there's no need to pay the minimum. If my BGE bill is $145 a month, and I would have paid them, I charge it on my Capital One card, and I just take the $145 and pay Capital One. Why would I pay the minimum payment on my BGE bill? Because now what does that mean? I'm paying interest on electricity. Does that make sense? No, because if I was paying BGE directly, I wouldn't be paying interest. So swipe, pay in full. Swipe, pay in full. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. That is a surefire way to boost your scores and maximize your credit worthiness when lenders pull your report.
Now you just gave us a major key, and I see in the group that you people post questions and you answer them. Like, is this a full-time thing for you? Because you legit like go back and forth and provide real time in public counseling in that group.
This is my full-time job.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna pull in a couple of them. I think you answered them, so it's not really a surprise. I saw a couple of them today. Hold on a second.
While you looking at that, let me say something real quick.
Okay.
So the thing is, people always say to me, I want to get in the 700 club. They say that to me to my face. They say it to me in interviews. They say it to me in the group. And the first thing I say is, well, do you know how credit scores are calculated? And they say, no. They just know they want that high number, right? But they don't know what even goes into calculating the score. But one of the biggest things, since we're talking about credit cards, utilization is one of the highest components of how scores are calculated. So if you have credit cards and you don't use them, people are like, why is my score so low? Because you're not showing utilization. Or you're maxing out cards, but you're paying on time every month, which is great. But if you're showing too much utilization, it hurts because you're risky. So the thing is finding that balance. FICO really doesn't want to see more than 30% utilization of your limit. So if you have $1,000 credit card, they don't want to see no more than $300 being charged.
That's it?
30, right? It sounds silly, right? 30%. You're like, that's nothing.
Yeah. So why you giving me this balance, this $2,500 balance for if I only can use $4,400?
So here's the thing. It's not about how much you use. It's about how much gets reported to the credit bureaus. This is the magic key that nobody knows. And every time I talk about this, people are blown away. It's not about how much you use. I can max out my card every month, but I can make sure that don't report.
How do you make sure it doesn't report?
On your credit card statement, there are 2 key dates to pay attention to: your due date and the closing cycle. Every card has a billing cycle. It don't matter if it's a gas card, a Target card, a Amex, Platinum, whatever. You have a billing cycle and you have a due date. Whatever the balance is when your cycle closes, that is what gets reported to the credit bureaus. If you don't remember nothing else, remember that. Pull one of your statements, guys. Everybody that's listening, go pull a credit card statement. Look at your close date. Whatever your balance is when the cycle closes, that's what's going to report. Your due date is not until about 25 days after that. So, example, my Capital One card closes on the 24th of every month, but my bill is not due to the 21st of the next month. So if I have $1,000 credit card and I max out $1,000, as long as I pay it down to under 30% before my cycle close, the credit bureau's not gonna know I used
before the closing, before that date. So in essence, based on what you're saying, because math ain't good with me, you would want to do it a month in advance if you could.
Don't say that. Say before your cycle closes. Like, I don't say, because everybody's billing cycle is different. Just look at if yours ends on the 16th of every month, you want to make sure you got it between 10% and 30% of your limit
on the 16th.
Before the 16th. Because when it closes, when Capital One goes to do their monthly reporting to the credit bureau, they're gonna say, "Oh, Lamont only used $100 this month," even though you charged $1,000, but you paid it down to $100 before your cycle closed. That's what people don't know. So what's hurting them is that they have the money, but they're paying too late. If you pay your in full by the due date, that balance already reported 25 days ago. So you missed that mark. So it's going to report. So say you charged $1,000 and you forgot to pay it down by the 16th. They're going to report that you maxed out. You have 100% utilization on your card. Your score is going to do this. Because that's over 30%. I say 10% is better. So anytime I talk about this, I say use it for whatever, but pay it down to 10% before your cycle closes, because you want to make sure that's all they report.
So again, then that takes a little bit of work, because if you're lining it up with your bills, then you should want to readjust all your bills so that I'm learning. So you readjust how your due dates for your bills so they line up with the end of the closing cycle on the credit card.
Or just don't go over 10%.
Oh, okay.
That way you don't have all my bills that's connected to my card. It don't go over. Now that took some time because all my my limits are really high. Like
I'm about to say my limit like $1,100 with the
But that comes with time.
Yeah.
When I was rebuilding after cancer, I had to get a $300 secured card from Bank of America. I mean, I was starting from the bottom. Now I'm here. I have over $160,000 of available credit right now, but that took years. Right. Yeah. But the bottom line is, if I don't go over 10%, I don't need to know when my cycle dates are. I can't manage 7 credit cards, all the cycle dates, all the due date. That's too much. So I just let it charge, like you said, recurring. And then when my bill is due, I have it set on auto pay. So it takes it straight out of my account. And I don't got to think about nothing. It's all working behind the scenes. And I'm just like, charge it, pay it.
So your credit score is about 980.
Ain't no such thing, but yes, it's high.
All right, so let's take a question from that I saw. Take a stab at this question. I say, will closing a brand new card hurt your credit score? Score dropped when I applied. I'm not sure why I applied. I don't need it. Obviously, I wasn't thinking.
This post made me upset. I don't like to talk about my members.
Okay.
But it made me upset because the part that said I didn't need it, that made me mad. Like, what made you apply then? So now I'm like, you may as well keep it open since you already took the hit for the inquiry, right? So you might as well leave it open. But closing a credit card only hurts if it will increase your utilization. So if you have a lot of credit cards with high balances and your new card, that available credit is counting to it's widening your availability. But if you close it, now it can't count that available credit towards your debt. So it may make your overall utilization percentage go up. That's the only time it really hurts, when you are why did my light go down?
No, we see you loud and clear.
Okay.
We
that's
hear
the only
it.
time it would really hurt. A lot of people think that they'll lose the history. In her case, she just opened the card, so she's really have no history. But let's just say you had a credit card. It came with a whole bunch of annual fees. You only got it because you were trying to rebuild your credit. You've had it for 7 years, but now you have better cards. You don't want to pay those annual fees. People think if I close that 7-year card, then I'm going to lose the history. You don't ever lose history on closed accounts. It still counts towards your score. So I wanted to put that because it's a really big misconception when it comes to credit.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, because yes, you don't ever.
No.
Not even after 7 years.
No. So now we're talking about two different things. 7 years is about the negative stuff.
Oh, okay.
This is a positive account. When I paid off my car, that history stays on there for another 10 years. So once it's off, then it doesn't count because you can't count something towards your credit score that's not on your report. But
does the whole wait if it's just sitting there and not in use? Oh wow. See, as soon as we start talking that, shooting that GIF. As soon as we start talking that important stuff, she dropped out. We're gonna wait for her to get back. This is a good question here because I wanted to ask this too. A Cutie Pie says, my credit limit just increased without me asking for it. What does that mean? Let me see if we can get her back in. We got you now. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know what happened. So you said, does it hold weight?
Yeah.
Great question. Let me break this down. There are 5 components of how credit scores are calculated, right? So since people always say, I want to get in 700 club, 800 club, I'm at a 500. Let me tell you what goes into calculating that 3-digit number that we just hold so high and mighty, right? Payment history is number 1. How responsible are you with borrowing money and paying back on time? Not just paying back when they ask for it. If somebody borrow money from you and they say, I pay you back on Friday, don't you want your money on Friday?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Payment history is number 1. Utilization is number 2. So we talked about that. Showing none hurts and showing too much hurts. Find that fine balance. Make sure you're showing utilization every month. The third one is ties into what we're talking about is your length of credit history. Yes, that matters. You talked about earlier. You had no credit. So when they pulled your credit, they were like, we don't even know how responsible he is. If somebody sees, oh, she had a car note, she paid on time the whole 5 years, and it's staying on report, it adds to your history of how long you've been managing credit. The newer you are, the more risky you are because even though you might be a newbie, you might got perfect payment history, they can't see that you've been able to keep that up for a long time. So a newbie to credit is almost like having bad credit, unfortunately.
Yes.
So yes, length of credit history holds weight. Credit mix matters as well. What do I mean by that? They want to see revolving lines of credit and they want to see installment lines of credit. What is revolving lines of credit? Credit cards. Fancy way to say credit cards.
Okay.
So they want to see a nice mix of that and installment. Well, what are installment lines of credit? That's credit that's fixed. It's the same payment every single month. So you tell me, Mr. King, what examples of installment lines of credit can you think of?
I have a lease, an auto lease.
Okay, same
installment.
Auto loans. Yes, something else.
Yeah. Oh, something else. What about student loan?
Yep, same. And what's another big thing everybody wants?
What do they want?
Another line of credit that everybody's aspiring to get. I need my credit score because I want to buy
a house.
Right. It's
mortgage.
It's the same. So they want to see a nice, healthy mix. Now, there are ways to add to your mix without taking on unnecessary debt, right? I would not tell somebody, go buy a car so you can have an installment loan report on your credit report. That's crazy. But there are companies and resources and ways that people can add to their mix without going into deeper debt. And that's another lengthy topic for another day. Yeah. But the last component are your inquiries. Every time you apply for credit, like that post just said, she's like, I already took the hit. My score dropped because I applied. You're going to take a hit. Now, how much of a hit you take depends on how many inquiries you apply, you got in a short amount of time. Like people get ridiculous around Christmas. They go in every store. They want to get the discount. So they apply for this card, that card, this card, this card. You're going to take a bigger hit as opposed to you apply for something today and then you don't apply for something else for 6 months.
But I think that's kind of unfair though, because you work so hard to get your score in a decent place to have buying power and strength. And then you go start looking like getting pre-approved for, home loans or apartment complex because you need to move. And them joints start adding up, and you got 6 inquiries because you was really trying to move and really do something with your money. And then they take points away.
I love this conversation. So here's the thing. Here's the thing though. Certain inquiries don't count towards you as heavily as others. Right. So listen, FICO knows that people do something called rate shopping. When you go buy a car, you're not going to go to CarMax and the first loan interest rate they give you. You're like, okay, you're going to be like, well, let me see what this bank is going to give me. Let me see what this dealership is going to give me. So people freak out when they go buy cars and they're like, they pulled my credit 7 times and da, 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 da. FICO knows people do that. So what they said is if you have auto mortgage or private student loan inquiries pulled within 30 days, it will only count as one single inquiry towards your score.
Okay. I'm familiar
Now,
with
you
that.
go crazy with the credit cards, that's on you, because that don't count. You ain't rate shopping with credit cards. You just debt shopping. That's different. Those are going to count as single inquiries. And you may take a 3-point hit for that one, 2-point hit, 1-point hit. It all really depends. So I tell people, don't get crazy. Even when you're trying to rebuild and repair your credit, you're like, I'm applying for all these different cards so I can start rebuilding. And everyone's denying me. And I'm like, now you look thirsty for credit. So then the lender's going to be like, we don't want to approve her because she has all these inquiries. So don't go crazy, but don't be afraid to apply for credit as well. Like, you have to apply to obtain, to use.
All right, let me get this question in from A Cutie Pie. My credit limit just increased without me asking for it. What does that mean?
Is it bad?
What does it mean?
Oh, that means you have more. They say they reviewed your report, your history with them, and said, you know what, she's doing pretty well. Let's give her some more money. Now, they're not doing this because they like you, right? They're hoping that you get in a bind and then don't be able to pay in full. So now you pay interest and they're able to make money off of you. But it is a good thing. Sometimes I ask for increases. Every 6 months, me and my husband sit down and we log in and we ask for more money. This card went from 4,000 to 8,000. Now they gave me 12,000. Now it's at 19,000. It also makes you look more responsible, right? If you're just building and you have a $200 card, a $500 card, $1,000, it's cute to just get started. But lenders are going to be like, okay, we see he's responsible, but anybody can be responsible with $200. Now, you got a $12,000 card. You look even more responsible because you have more at your disposal, but you're managing it properly. So having wider availability is always a good thing. Don't ask all the time. Make sure that the company does not do a hard pull for increases, because Levy Federal will do an inquiry if you ask for increase. Discover won't. Capital One won't. Bank of America won't. So understand the ones that will do a hard pull. I'm not asking for no increase if you want to put an inquiry on my credit report. I'm not that pressed.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Here's one quick one. Not checking for you. What about when you sell your house? Does your score go up?
No. So remember we talked about those 5 components of how scores are calculated? Utilization was one of them. You can only utilize credit cards. You cannot utilize anything else. You don't use car loans. You don't use student loans. They pay for your classes and you just pay them back. They bought your car, you pay them back. So people think if I pay off my debts, my score is going to go up. You can pay off your car. You can pay off your house. That doesn't make your score go up, because that's not what lenders are looking for. They're looking for that history of how you've been able to manage your payments. Now, it's a great thing to sell your house because now it looks like that that loan is paid off. You know, if you take the money and you pay off the whatever you owe. But it could actually drop your score when you pay off a house or pay off a car, because it may change your credit mix. If you have 6 credit cards in one installment line of credit and now you paid it off, now you only have 6 credit cards. That means you don't have a good credit mix, which can drop your score. But I tell people, please do not care about a score drop if you're paying off a major debt, like a car or a student loan. Like, drop my score 100 points. I don't care.
After about 20 something plus odd years, I just paid off my student loan.
Oh my God.
And it was ridiculous.
So paying off your debts is highly more important than your score dropping 10 points because you paid off your car. Like, guess what? You saving money on all that interest. You can now take that money you were paying for the car and dump it on another debt you owe, or put it in a bank and start saving. Like, people hold that 3-digit number like Jesus. And I'm like, if paying off a debt will drop your score, guess what? You can always rebound those scores, but you can't get that money back in unnecessary interest for holding on to a debt for longer than you needed to. So people ask me, I have all the money to pay off my car. Should I pay it off? I don't want my score to drop. And I'm like, so you want to just keep paying interest for the next 3 years? Because guess what's going to happen in 3 years anyway? The car is eventually going to be paid off, whether you paid off now or at the end of your term. So take the money and pay it off. Take the hit to your points, and then you can always rebound your points. But don't hang on to debt because you don't want your score to drop. That's really not smart thinking.
765, let's go one. We're on with credit coach Shanté Nicole. 765, let's go one. Now, we had some phone issues last week. People was like, I was on hold. I'm looking at the screen. I'm looking at the screen right now. I don't see anything. So people could be calling, but here's the thing. Check the chat, y'all. Check the chat. I just put the video link in the chat. I'm gonna do it again and just jump on that way. Don't be scared, because I see a lot of y'all asking questions in the chat, and y'all know we don't do that here. This is interactive. Stop being shy and phony. I saw something while we wait for that, I saw something in the CNBC article that talked about how you and your husband do this thing with the balance transfers.
Not no more.
Oh, y'all don't do it? What, that was
We
a
don't
way
have
to,
no credit card debt now.
well, that was a way to work to where you are now. And I didn't understand it. Break that down. Cause I get those pieces of mail every time. I get those all the time. Go ahead.
I want to address something I saw in the chat. Somebody said pay in full before the end of the statement. You never want to do that. I wanted to circle back to that.
Okay. It's before
if you pay in full before the end of the statement, your balance is going to be what?
Oh, 0.
And then how much is going to report to credit bureaus?
0.
Then it's going to look like you never used your card. So that's a big mistake people make. They be like, I charge my card with gas. I paid off the next day. And I'm like, well, now FICO don't know that you use your card because you're paying. You have to let something report. You might as well not swipe your card if you're going to do it that way, unless you're just using it for points. That's a different story. But if you pay in full before the statement, it's always going to report 0. It's like you're not using it. So I don't know who, like, I don't want to mispronounce.
Esdecia, yeah,
yeah, but don't do that. And that's okay. If you have other cards that show utilization, and then I go to Victoria's Secret and I just use my card because I want to get the 20% off or whatever, I'm safe to pay that off right away because I already have other cards that are going to show the utilization. I don't have to, I only use that for the discounts. I can pay that off as soon as I get in the car. You know what I mean? If you're really trying to show utilization, you have to wait until it reports. So I just want to address that because I don't want people. Okay. So the balance transfer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Balance transfer. Balance transfer is when a credit card company says, hey, if you transfer your balance from one card to this card, we'll give you 0% interest for 12 months. So you're not paying no interest for 12 months. So I tell people, do that if you're offered while you're trying to play catch up on getting rid of your debt. That way, at least you're not paying interest, right? But what happens when that promo ends? The interest is going to start accruing, right?
Okay.
So then I let me find another card that has this offer. And then I go transfer my money over there. And then I transfer. So I just kept hopping it around until it was paid off because $50,000 to $60,000 in debt. Imagine how much interest I would have paid on top of it. Right. So I was like, absolutely not. So I played that game for like 7 years.
Okay.
Now I wasn't getting new cards. I was just waiting until my other cards gave another offer. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people think, just keep applying for cards. No, that's kind of counterintuitive, and now that's working against you. But I just
you were like rotating the balance between 7 cards.
And in his cards too. He was helping me out. So
yeah.
Yeah, we just kept playing until it was finally paid off.
How important is that to have a supportive I guess co-signer or because debt, another person's debt can hold you down if you're legally attached. Is that true?
I told you when I went through my divorce, it was bills that we both had in both of our names. And he was like, I ain't paying nothing. I couldn't have that same attitude. I was trying to clean up. So I was responsible for paying everything, even though we both had accumulated the debt.
Right.
I mean, I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't have that. I couldn't afford to have that same attitude.
Interesting.
So yes, co-signing sucks. I don't care who it's for. Mother, father, grandmother, uncle, aunt, sister, brother, don't matter. You have to understand the ramifications of what you're getting yourself into when you co-sign. Now, I was married. I never thought I was going to be divorced, but so I co-signed debts for him.
Right.
And then when we divorced, I'm like, okay, you're responsible for that since that was really yours. And he was like, I'm not paying. I was like, well, I guess I got to pay. Yeah, it's just, you have to understand what you're getting yourself into. I see those posts as well. I co-signed for my sister-in-law. She lost her job. She can't pay it. How do I get myself off that loan? You can't just tell them, hey, I don't want to be on here no more. Like, it's a joint loan. You both apply. The only way to get off is for your sister to refinance in her name only. That way you're not on it no more. Now it's a new loan with just her. Well, if her credit sucks, she probably ain't going to get no loan. So now you're stuck. And now you got late payments. You got a repo on your credit because you tried to help somebody else. So I'm not saying don't help out your family and friends. Just understand what can come of it. Right.
Now, if I were to reach out to Financial Common Sense for business, what would that experience be like?
Personally, not in my group.
Yeah. Like credit coaching.
So you say, hey, I want these debts paid. I got collections I don't know how to deal with. I got these late payments. I'm trying to increase my score. I want a house. I said, all right. So you click my link and you select the date and time that you want to do your session. You also provide me with your login information to access your credit reports. So I pull your credit reports and I go line I'm talking about I evaluate and review the whole entire thing. We get on our phone call. I'm educating you, kind of throwing out those gems like, we're doing now, except for it's not general. It's very specific to what I saw on your report.
Right.
Within 5 days, you get an action plan, and that action plan lists every single thing you need to do. Send this letter to this credit bureau, send this letter to that creditor. If you get a response from them saying this, then do that. Call this person and make a payment arrangement, send a pay to delete letter to this collection agency. Oh, this collection agency is crooked. They have settle, they're under fire with the courts, so we can dispute and get that off. Like, I'm teaching you exactly what to do for your specific credit report and whatever goal you want to meet, because every client has a different starting point and every client has a different goal. Some of my clients have homes. That's not their goal. They're like, I'm trying to clean up from this divorce. I'm like, been there, done that, and I can help them. So I like doing it because when people have a plan to follow, if you already feel overwhelmed, they feel that much more dedicated to fixing their credit, and they're excited about it. Most of them feel so defeated when they call me. I've had people cry, but before we hang up, they're like, oh my God, I can't wait to get started, because now they're like, they have hope because they have a specific plan in place. And that's what I do. I do them all day, every day. I do webinars and, stuff like that too, in classes. But the biggest thing is my credit coaching.
Let me see. Let me pull in the real quick your website right here.
Under services, I think it says credit coaching. Yeah, and
Look
people
at
say like, can you do it for me? And I'm like, what is it that you're looking for me to do? And they be like, help me boost my credit. And I'm like, there are only things that you can do to really boost your credit. I can't do anything for you that you can't do yourself.
Now, the making sense of money, that's the kids. Is that the kids one?
Yeah.
We need that.
I got flashcards for the kids about money. I got a financial planner.
Yeah.
Teach them how to budget their little money, their birthday money. And this one is about credit and interest. So when them teenagers going to get their first little car when they're 16 years old, you need to learn how to calculate what your interest rate going to be and how much you're going to be paying. Because I have a client who she made 18 payments to her car, $515 a month. She could afford it. But I said, do you know out of the $515 a month, only $65 is going towards your car?
Wow.
She was like, what? But her interest rate was 24%. Why? Because her credit sucked when she got the loan. So they're going to either deny you or hit you over the head. So imagine she already paid $9,200 towards the car in a year and a half, but only $1,300 went towards the car. So $7,000 was interest.
So we out here just giving away money. We don't even know it. We're just giving away money.
She never knew. She was like, $515, I can afford that, because most people buy a car, all they're thinking about is what my monthly note is going to be. But you don't realize how much of that note is going towards actually paying down your car. So she's like, no wonder I keep feeling like my balance isn't moving. It ain't. Yeah. $65 out of $515, it ain't moving. She cried. I felt bad for her. She's like, what? God, I'm never going to pay this car off. So she was able to refinance for 16% because her credit was really in no better shape. But my goal is that she follows the rest of my action plan, builds her credit up, and is able to refinance for a lower credit. But yes, we're giving away thousands of dollars, and the credit card companies and these lenders are like, keep on with your bad credit. Keep on with your bad credit, because it's expensive to have bad credit.
Oh, say that.
It's expensive.
All right. Now, before I let you go, because you're giving out straight jewels, and I know this is a lot of this is proprietary, but they can find you at Facebook. Financial Common Sense is the group, at Financial Common Sense on Instagram. Now, on the way out, I want to talk briefly about FACE. Are you still heavily involved in that? Talk about your child for a minute, because I remember when you first launched that, you reached out and had asked me to put some things out as far as promo or whatever, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. I think, to be honest, I feel like what I know about children and autism is from what I used to read from your post. Yeah, early on. Yeah,
my crazy child.
Yeah. So how has that been?
It's been tough with the pandemic. So Dylan he just turned 15 last week. Okay. And so he's moderately on the spectrum. He's not high functioning. So he's not the what you see in the movies, the brainiac, the genius that can count, all the presidents. Like he can't have a conversation with me. He's 15, So anyway, I started the nonprofit in 2013, been featured lots of places. But then I started a summer camp 5 years ago. And it was really because in the DMV, there are not a lot of places that are suitable to take care of children who are nonverbal, still not potty trained as a teenager. Parents didn't trust them with their kids, or they say we're not staffed to meet the demands of this child. He has behavior issues. He's self-injurious. He bites. He does this, whatever. Or we're not changing a 9-year-old's pull-up. We're just not doing that. You got to be tough. So I decided to do a summer camp and a respite program on the weekend so parents can find a place for their children to have care while they're at work, and a safe environment, and for a director who understands, because she has a child with special needs herself. Last year was the first year that I was not able to do my summer camp because of COVID, and I miss my babies so much. But it's really hard because with FACE, I was really on the front lines. It's not a lot of online things that are happening. So I also teach cooking to adults with autism, and I miss them because we aren't able to get together. Thank you so much. So that population is near and dear to my heart for personal reasons with my son. And then also with the finances, because of the story I shared, when we first started this interview. And oddly enough, April is Financial Literacy Month and Autism Awareness Month.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm not able to really do much with them. I did years ago a calendar called What Autism Looks Like, and I featured kids from all over the world that have autism because people think it has a look. And I'm like, no, you can look at someone and not tell they have a disability. So I wanted to do that. I haven't done that in a few years, but a parent just asked me about, do you still do those calendars? I'm like, it would be nice to reach back out to those parents whose child was like 3 at the time and see how they've evolved and changed and stuff. And so we sold those calendars to raise money for supplies for our camps, and stuff like that. So I've been so busy with FCC. I was like, I don't want to forget about my babies, but I was able to do both 2 summers ago, 2019, but we didn't do camp last year. And we probably won't for a while because you can't safely distance yourself from kids who need you.
Yeah, that's real.
And they're not gonna wear masks all day. I can tell you that. So it's been tough. And I know the parents, I can't imagine knowing the kids I care for and seeing how they probably are at home. I can't imagine what the parents are going through. Some kids were like, I don't know how you do it. Some kids are very mild. Some kids have really behavior issues. So I know the parents need a break. And the fact that I can't provide that anymore, it hurts. But I just kind of just go with the flow. Whatever lane I'm in at the time in my life, I just ride that until I feel like God tells me, all right, next, get off at this exit, time to do something else. FCC is where it's at. Even outside of the money, I created the group before I started it as a business. So my heart was really in helping people with their finances and telling my story. I did not create the group after I started my business. My business was an accident.
No, that's real. That's big. Hey, listen, I appreciate you and everything you do. I'll be peeping the post and I'll be like, let me see what the answer is for that. And a lot of people help each other.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I was like, this is not my group. This is y'all's group. When people get houses, everybody's like, congratulations, girl. Like, I love it. I love seeing the people who joined when I first launched and they didn't know nothing about credit, and now they're the ones answering the post. I don't answer every post. If I scroll and see somebody got the answer, I'm like, okay, moving on. I ain't got to jump on every post. I'm not the only expert now. I'm teaching them how to be the experts.
Yeah. All right. Well, do me this favor. When and if you can, we'd love to have you back. And next time, strictly Q&A. I'm gonna see what's up with these phones, but strictly Q&A. And we'll keep it like that. Now that you're a friend of the program and everybody's familiar with you, we'd love to have you back on a regular basis. Shanté, Nicole.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I was trying to read the chat and do this at the
same
time.
It's a thing.
Join my group, guys. Financial Common Sense. That's CENTS. That's how I'm there all the time. I eat, sleep, and drink and breathe that group. So I will help you any way that I can. So thank you for this. I'm so passionate about it. Y'all know, y'all can hear it in my voice, but it's not being taught, and we need to have the money talks. We need to start making that a part of our everyday language.
Say that. Amen. Amen.
Yep.
All right. I appreciate you. When I get this posted, I'll send it straight to you.
Okay.
All right. Bye, guys. One more time, y'all. Y'all know what's up with the phones. I promise you, I know some of y'all are calling, but I really can't see it. I wish I could share my screen so y'all can see. I can share my screen, actually. So y'all, because you know how y'all are. Y'all need proof. Where is that? Yeah, look at this. This is how the phones work. These are the phones that y'all pay for. This is how it works. But right now, you would see in this area right here, in the middle area, you would see people on hold, but it's not happening today. So I'm going to call them because we just paid up, and that shouldn't happen. But no, that was a lot of information, and you know, for the Q&A portion next time, we definitely gonna have it so that you can call in and talk directly to her. Man, I got work to do. Clean my mom credit out. You understand me? Needs that 800. I'm going for that 800. That 800. You understand? All right, that's about it for the day, man. The money wheel, we back at it. I'm rebuilding it as we speak. Handful of names on there. I believe we're just at $100 or so. 50-50 raffle every Friday. So we look forward to that this week. $5 a slot. Go ahead and send us if you're still interested in putting some money on the wheel. Cash App, Let's Go Live Show. Don't forget to follow all of our follows. Let's see, where's that? Where that? I gotta delete some of them. They not coming back on the show. Here we go, Mr. Lamont King on social media. Oh, real quick, let me do this. Let's. No, I say that for Wednesday. Let's end on a high note. I was gonna bring some funny in there that I had did today, but that can wait because the star of the show was the money. So that's it. I'm about to just leave on that. I'll see y'all Wednesday, man. Lord willing. Stay safe out here, man. Watch what's going on around you.
I don't care if it is a closet. You still looking mad official.